Okay. We got I Wish I Never Took Steroids from your boy, Greg Doucette. Um, okay, let me see.
You would be a normal guy making 100K a year.
Like a school teacher, like I was for 11 years.
Normal guy making 100K? Teaching what? Normal guy 100K. Holy shit. Like, I'm living in the wrong state. I'm doing the wrong line of work. Normal person 100K. That's insane, dude.
Years.
Exactly.
Right.
Staying a school teacher. Would you take that deal?
To live 10 more years longer?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I think everyone should experience living 10 years longer than last time.
So I've been watching Greg for a while. I kind of got like the vibe of this video. It's like, oh, you took steroids, but like it boosted up all of your knowledge and experience, and then you use that to create the business and like that you have right now, and you would have been able to do it without steroids. So I mean, I guess they're just talking about if you could go back and like take back the steroids and whatever. It's like, would you do it? And so, okay, that's the vibe I'm getting.
More testosterone than last time.
Coach Greg, and I'm here with Dura from Montreal. He lives in Canada, and we're going to be going over a heated discussion today about steroids. And so, hear me out.
Heated.
He thinks that everyone, and by everyone I mean men, all of them should use steroids, that it's awesome. Everyone should experience it. So it sounds like Togi. And I'm going to tell you...
It's not Togi.
79!
Togi. Yeah, I know, but it's a little different.
Okay, he's going to explain why it's different than what Togi thinks. I think it's the same thing.
I mean, are we still under the impression that Togi is like, that's his real, like his like inner self? Like, Togi is obviously a character.
And so I'm going to be obviously thinking that this guy's a moron.
Stop being a moron!
We're going to see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Maybe he'll convince me. Maybe we're all going to be on test by the end of the episode.
We'll see. They're all hypocrites. That's the thing. But,
all right, so you tell us why we should be on steroids.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is what I noticed.
Okay, so I'm not on steroids right now. Well, I never really was. So I'm just going to the gym. I'm an average bro. My test levels are, I don't know, it's like 700 something. I got like a blood test recently. Well, a couple months ago, and that's what I got. But like, okay, I mean, would my life quality go up if I had a little bit higher test levels? Probably.
All successful influencers.
All, okay.
All, yeah. You, me, people, other influencers.
Will Tennyson, Jesse James, Jeff Nippard.
And most body.
So he's probably talking about successful like fitness influencer peoples.
Bodybuilders too, like pro bodybuilders. We've made most of our success with the help of testosterone use or steroid use.
Okay, I have.
Probably. Most likely. I mean, there's probably like a couple outliers where like a couple influencer people are like a truly like lifetime natty, blah, blah, blah. But the exception to the rule doesn't make the rule.
You have.
Yeah, but there are a shit ton of other influencers. But here's the thing.
I agree with that. There are a lot, but not all.
But all of the ones who have are always telling other people not to do steroids.
Oh, here we go. So this kind of seems like like an instance of do as I say, not as I do type of vibe. Or the other saying is a rules for thee, but not me type of vibe.
I definitely am that.
Yeah, you're that guy. Exactly.
Sure. I'm that guy.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
And it's kind of like Grant Cardone, the real estate guy who owns a bunch
Okay.
of real estate, like thousands of apartments, but is telling people not to buy real estate and to rent.
So
Yeah, I mean, this is the vibe of hypocrisy. In general, being a hypocrite is looked down upon. Okay, so that's where we're at.
Basically,
It's
you're saying
exactly
it's
the same thing.
hypocritical for somebody like me to say, don't use steroids when I actually did.
And still doing it, even though it's HRT or whatever, but you're still on it.
And so that's another debate. I think we could probably talk about that. Is HRT using steroids? Is it not? What are the limits for the doses? But yeah, I definitely see that. It's a great point.
It still falls under the category of using testosterone.
Yeah, so technically, I am on steroids. I'm on testosterone.
But you tell people not to do it.
And absolutely, I tell people not to do it. However, I do tell people if they need HRT prescribed by a doctor that they should do it because.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching a ton of like Greg videos for forever, and he's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, just do it if you feel like you need it, but everybody can't really like self-diagnose themselves without like getting like an objective blood test. Like if someone feels like they have low energy, but like their test is like 800 or something, and that falls within like the normal category, they can still come out and say, all of the symptoms of like, I feel like I got brain fog. I feel tired all the time. I can't operate normally. I fall asleep randomly, grogginess, blah, blah, blah. There's no real way, I think, that, what is it? There's no real way to like someone's perception of themselves is going to be different than like from a third person perspective of like a doctor going off of a scale and be like, okay, he's telling me he's having all these negative symptoms, but he's like within the normal range, right? So something's not lining up. The doctor is normally incentivized to like give out drugs. That's just, at least in the United States. So it's like, oh, okay, so if he's telling me all these things, he has to suss out whether or not that person is being truthful or if they're lying. And it's like, oh, okay, he's still saying he's within the normal range, but this person still wants to get some tests or whatever. So I'll just maybe prescribe him like a small amount or something like that. So the doctor can have like kind of like a guilt-free conscience of like, okay, you got what you want. I get a little bit of money. That pleases that person a little bit. They're on test. So it's like, did that person really need it like that bad? Versus the person that's like maybe on the lower side. Like maybe they got like 200 or 300 or maybe 100 or something like that.
Because that's what the doctor's telling them to do.
I think everyone.
I mean, and also, isn't that, what's that fallacy? Like like when you defer to authority? I forgot whatever that little like fallacy was.
In the fitness world is just being politically correct.
Yeah.
And they're kind of giving the people what they want to hear. So people are like, oh yeah, he's a good influencer. But really, when you think about it, if someone were to come and tell you, would you do it again?
Me now, right now, the answer is no. But I
don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna get into it a little bit. Would you still take steroids? Like you knowing what you know now, and Greg is coming back and saying, "Oh, I wouldn't do it." So, I mean, me personally, I think this is like a hindsight Henry type of vibe. I got this tone or this concept from like Apex Legends of like whenever people broke down their gameplay. It's like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. But they're like, oh, you wouldn't have done that because you wouldn't have known this. So this is like in hindsight type of vibe.
Until the last couple of years, I 100% it was with you. I was like, if you asked me 5 years ago, do I have any regrets? I would have said, there is no regrets. I'm winning shows. I feel good. I look amazing. So why would I regret it? But it's not until I got older. Like, and I'm 49, pushing 50 keys of Turk across the border.
Okay.
That's what I do every morning. You see my morning. And so now I want to live longer. I want to live to be like 90. And so I'm in my mind, I'm like, what if those 10 years plus, like 10, 11 years, whatever, that I abuse steroids takes 10 years?
Okay, so this whole like I lose 10 years, I gain 10 years if I don't do it. I mean, we don't really we don't really know. And it's not like a hard and fast rule of if he didn't do steroids, he automatically gains 10 years of like plus life or whatever. I mean, we'll only know when the time comes and people just pass away. And, it's like, oh, why did they pass away? All this other shit. I mean, this is a good topic to talk about, I think.
Off of my life. It's just not worth it. Like, as famous as I am and as much money as I have and all this stuff, is it really worth taking 10 or 20 years off of my life?
Let me ask
10 or 20 years off your life now? Now we're like getting into like, oh, now it's like almost a quarter of my life because I took steroids. I mean, what if you end up living to be like 70 or 80 or hell, even 90 or 100? And it's like, oh, he took steroids really early, but he still lived a long like life or whatever to like 90 or 100. Well, then it's like, well, what's the negative effects of it?
ask you something.
Yes.
If someone were to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't used steroids, you would have a normal life.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be living in the. He lives in a hotel.
mansion.
It's not a mansion. It's a hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feels like that. Yeah.
And you wouldn't have all these cars, all these. You don't have a chef cooking you. Just a normal guy. You would be a normal guy.
Okay, so now you're gonna take away the standard of living. And anytime I hear people talk about their standards of living, people get very defensive about it. I mean, you could kind of tell with like his tone and his body language or whatever. It's like, oh, my standard of living. And, I mean, I think it's good that, Greg talks about this, like being open, which is fine. But anytime I hear anybody talking about their standard of living and nobody really wants to have their standard of living go down. I mean, that just sucks. But there does feel like there's an argument to be made of, like, your standard of living is so great that you would still have a great life even if it were to go down. I mean, honestly, and it is a feels before reals type of argument, because there's like, what was it? There's this one instance of, I think it was either like a millionaire or like a billionaire or something like that. And he was talking some shit of like, oh, poor people have it so easy. They got no responsibilities, yada yada. I can what do you call it? I can live like a poor person for like a whole year or something. But I forgot who it was. The dude, I forgot if it was like US or Chinese person. They only were able to get into like the whole like poor person like environment of like doing everything themselves and not having anything. And even then it's like it's like you still can't really live in the entirety of like a poor person because of the knowledge you have. That person only got into it for like a week or two before they were just like, they tapped out. They couldn't do it. They're just like, this sucks. But going from like everything, that's like a very stark, what do you call it? Like difference. Going from like mansion, like cars and whatnot to, I mean, I don't remember like what the type of environment they like got reduced to. I honestly forgot, but I don't think it's that big of an ask to like, oh, go live in a basic, I don't know, let's say basic, like a 2-bed, 2-bath type of house, like by yourself, or maybe with like a significant other. Like, I don't know, like what you would consider like something average. That's like I'm not gonna do 2-bed, 3-bath or 3-bed, 2-bath, whatever. It's just like 2-bed, 2-bath type of house. That's not like all the way like down in like you're homeless type of vibes, but it's just like, it's not nothing. Maybe like you lived up as a kid and like that was your mom's and dad's house, and then they died, and then now it's your house, and you just inherit the house or whatever.
Guy
I don't think that would be
100K
too big of a,
Like school teacher,
difference.
like I was for 11 years.
Exactly.
Right.
Staying a school teacher. Would you take that deal?
To live 10 more years longer?
Yes.
Yes.
No. No way.
So here's the
Okay. So, I mean, I don't really know how attached Greg is to his like lifestyle. I mean, I've seen his videos for like a while, and he just been doing more or less the same thing. There's like a couple differences, but from what he says, I mean, he's still like living quote unquote kind of frugally, outside of the cars and the big house and all that other shit. He still eats out of his own cookbook, still does his like workouts and shit, and does like the videos. So as far as like day-to-day stuff goes, I mean, he's been doing like the same thing. It's not like he's going out and spending like, I would imagine like some bullshit, whatever rich people do. Like, oh, I'm going to go race a Bugatti and I'm going to go crash it and then go buy another one. And I don't think he's doing shit like that. He doesn't got like that oil money type of thing going on.
No.
Picture this. You're 80, right?
Yeah.
You got grandkids, the whole
I'm
thing.
done.
Happy you're 80.
You're 80 years old. You're done. You're done with life. You've done everything.
I can give you
Why
a
would you
story.
even want to live longer?
When my grandmother was 94,
I mean, there are like the life expectancy of just people, at least in the United States, is going up. And with my job, I have seen people like in their 80s and 90s out there playing tennis and shit, just like a normal person. Granted, it's not as fast or like as explosive as you were when you were like 20, 30. All right, I get that, but like you can still like do some cool shit if like you are just physically active. All right, it's not like you turn 80 or 70 or 90 and all of a sudden you just lose it. You're just like, I'm bedridden. Ugh. So he's arguing that life in your later years is just completely dog shit versus, aging gracefully. I mean, I don't really know because I've never like done PEDs, so I'm not like, I don't get that type of vibe.
I said, you lived a good life. You must
What was
be
your
ready
grandmother
to go.
doing at 94?
She
Other
was,
than the same shit every day.
And also, just because you're 70, 80, 90 doesn't mean you lived a good life. There are tons of people that are really old that they go throughout life just like barely struggling. Does that mean you had a good life? You had a life. The goodness of it is kind of like up for debate because I would argue most people like at that age, they're just like, they just generally don't give a fuck about anything.
Day.
walking around, cooking, baking, sewing, doing her thing. But I said, you've had a good life. You've lived. Like, you must be, ready to go. It's fine. She's like, Greg, I feel 19 inside my head. When I look and talk, I'm 19. Now, I don't look 19, but she's like, that's how I feel. And she's like, I want to live as long as just as much as you do. At 49, I want to live just as long now as when I was 19. I don't feel different. And so if I said, like, okay, let's say this, I'm going to die tomorrow. And if I hadn't used steroids, I'd live to be 59. I'm not ready to go.
No,
So at 89, I'll feel the same way.
I don't think. First of all, I don't think steroids, especially if used correctly, will do that.
I didn't use them correctly. I was at 700 trend for a bit.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not telling people to do the cycles that we did for competition.
So
I'm saying test is amazing.
I don't disagree with you, but what dose of test do you think is safe? Like, say somebody's contemplating, they're watching this show, and they're like,
what dose of test is, I mean, I don't freaking know. I mean, like, has there ever been any studies for like long-term, like someone been on test or HRT for like a long amount of time? I mean, maybe those studies exist. Maybe they're being done right now, but I don't really think we have the knowledge or like the stats, the studies, the whatevers to be like, oh, if you take tests, you'll live longer. Like a microdose type of thing.
I want to use tests. What dose could they use that you think is safe?
I had that
And besides, I see people in their like 70s, maybe not 80s, but at least like 60s, 70s in the gym, and they're more jacked than me, okay? And I'm not going to like a crazy gym. I'm just going to like some whatever gym, and there's just like random jacked old dudes in there. Not like bodybuilding level, but it's like you got more muscle mass and you're throwing up more weight than me, buddy. That's crazy. And then I'll like talk to him and like just like banter or whatever, and they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm on a little HRT," and I'm like, "Oh wow, you look great, man." So it's like, I get it.
On Niall's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm from Egypt, and we have what we call the dad cycle. Basically, all my friends are on it, even those
dad
who are
cycle.
not bodybuilders.
And people don't know, right? They don't tell.
No, they don't tell. But like, they're still jacked, decently jacked. But
Yeah.
like, I got people working in politics. I got people as engineers. They go to the gym 4 times a week, and we have a dad cycle, and it's 500 milligrams of testosterone a week, maybe some Anavar, and maybe 5 units of growth hormone a day.
Damn. So I don't know dick about ass about like cycles or whatever, but I mean, looking at Greg's reaction, he's like, that's a decent amount.
If I took that right now,
That's the dad cycle.
So that dad cycle is a big cycle, really. It's not a beginner cycle. It's like a big cycle.
500 tests.
What do you think RFK, Jeff Bezos are on? Do you think they're on like low dose HRT, or do you think?
Oh yeah, he probably is. Look at this bicep vein. Right there. You don't get that from like pushing around papers and pencils, buddy. I mean, he's like one of the richest dudes in the world. He wants to live life like a really long life, okay? He's taking all the drugs. Are you kidding me? If you're a bazillionaire, you want to live a long time. He's going to look like this in another 30 years, I would guess. 100%.
They're on higher.
They're not on base HR. Have you seen RFK
I know.
for his age?
Do you know Dave Palumbo?
Yeah.
He watched my video and he's like, Greg is full of shit. He thinks he's on higher doses than just low dose HRT. I'm like, he's on that, probably IGF-1, probably GH, probably every peptide you can get.
Who is on that?
That RFK.
RFK
But yeah,
guy.
I
Yep.
think so too.
And some of that blue drippy drop stuff that he was putting in his water on the plane.
And Palumbo was like, Greg's an idiot. There's a video. Doing the
So
whole
you
thing.
think Palumbo's so you think RFK is just on TRT?
on way more than just TRT.
And-
High
and-
dose.
and-
How old is RFK? What is age of RFK Jr.? 71? Bro, he's 71. What did I say? There are people that are on like some stuff like TRT, HRT, whatever, and a little bit of like other stuff, and they got like a decent amount of like muscle tone. He's over there cranking like push-ups and pull-ups and shit like that. Yeah.
And
on
Dave
everything.
disagrees with you.
Yes.
Okay,
You should
no.
see the
I
comments.
love
Greg's an
Dave.
idiot. It's like, no.
I love Dave, but I'm gonna have to side with Greg on this one. I think RFK.
Sorry, Dave.
I think RFK is on a dad cycle,
Probably close to that.
close to dad cycle. But
Yeah.
I think everyone should be on a dad cycle.
Okay, so this is why I compared you to Togi, because Togi, he says steroids the best drug ever made. This is the best thing, and all men should try it.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
This is a problem. This is a
Again, why are we listening to a character? This is obviously a character.
massive problem.
But what if they already are making, say, they're really crazy. They already have 900 or 1,000 nanograms per deciliter, and they're 20.
First of all, studies have shown that most men have less testosterone, have 50% less testosterone than what our fathers and grandfathers had.
Yeah, I've seen those.
You've seen those.
Yeah.
So I don't think, like, how many people would have those kind of numbers? 900 to 1,000.
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, 5% maybe of people?
I mean, I don't got those numbers. I mean, with my little blood test, I was at like 770-ish something. But that was like up from last year, which was like 6 something. Which was up last year from like 5. I was just like feeling like dog shit, dude.
It's
I would
really low. Low
argue
percentage.
even less.
Yeah, low percent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should count those. the average male right now has less testosterone than most males 30 years ago.
Average male has less test now than average males 30 years ago. I would probably say yeah. But, then you can go back to the arguments, or, well, not arguments, but like things that reduce your testosterone levels: stress, sleep, diet, exercise, all these things. Not a lot of people are dieting and exercising correctly. Not a lot of people are sleeping the right amount of sleep. If anything, I'd probably say there's more people that are in like kind of undiagnosed insomniacs, staying up and all that shit, not getting like at least 8 hours of sleep. And then also, people are just working shitty jobs that they don't want to. They just merely work them just to survive. If that.
Yeah, I also think
And you know
that
what?
it's
I
skewed
think lower
from diet
testosterone.
and stuff. Like I think it comes
Diet,
from
the
maybe even
food.
plastics and bullshit, the chemicals that are in today's foods.
And I would argue having lower testosterone than 30 years ago. Like,
I mean, yeah, the microplastics is a thing, but I think people's like jobs, their diet, their exercise, their sleep has more to do with it than the microplastics.
the rates of testosterone that we have now has more of a health effect, a negative health effect, than being on a little more than being on a little more. Using
Ooh, so he's saying being a little under is worse than being a little over. But then why is like the life expectancy going up? Like, at least in America, from the perspective of America. What is the life expectancy of a male in the US? Last, I don't know, 10 years. So it's been like going up, but like, so your average down here, and over the last like, what is this, like 1980? It's been slowly going up until about 78, but now, since 2020, I mean, I wonder why, it's been going down to like 75, so everything's been kind of trending like upwards. What is this one? Statista? I mean, I don't know how valid any of this shit is, but like everything is like kind of trending up into. Why all the graphs like ended like 2020? 2020 is going down. Okay, I get it, guys. This one goes up to 2023. America's. There was a little tiny dip. Okay. Like everybody is trending up though. But from like what I could guess, what type of graph are we trying to look at? Like what's like a favorable type of graph? So we got the line. So like it seems like this is like Jesus, like when the life expectancy was like 30. I mean, life expectancy and quality of life are two different things. I get it. I will acknowledge that. But like, I don't even know like what I was gonna do. It's like let's say this is like 70, like 80, 90. I mean, this is like 60 or whatever. Like, is the shape of the graph, like they're all like going up and all like up like at a pretty linear rate. Like that's what I'm like seeing. But like, is there going to be a point where the graph starts to be like this and it like kind of plateaus? Or like as far as like life expectancy goes, it's like all the graphs are gonna like look at like something like this, like some sort of like linear and then tapering off of like diminishing returns type of graph.
So
HRT.
what I'm hearing is that you're okay with HRT to put you at, let's call it optimal test range, like maybe 1,000.
It's like quality of life plus just a little bit, just neutral quality of life, but plus a little extra instead of what I think is people are operating at minus quality of life. That's their norm.
Or
A
so,
little over than that.
but not the dad cycle. Like 500 tests is going to put my test levels past 2,000 for sure.
The dad cycle, I think, is something everyone has to experience because, like, you feel just like fucking, you know.
Yeah. So
you're
I felt
stronger.
it. And the problem is, how do you go back to feeling like me now? Because once you felt like, I call it, you feel like Superman, how do you go back to feeling like a normal guy?
But this is with everything in life. Anything that is awesome will have to remove something else. So it really depends on how do you want to live.
So
It's like
okay.
race car drivers. They're risking every day that they could crash and they could die, just like
Yeah.
that. In MotoGP
Yeah.
in Isle of Man, okay, it's a race that they do once a year. Every time, 2 men die. Every year. Actually, this was the
Dang.
first year that no one died. First
Wow.
time in like 50 years.
And so if I'm a parent of a child and they say, I want to enter that car race, I'm saying, you know,
Exactly.
because like I don't want them to do that.
But if you were,
they win, they
but
probably
you,
make, what, millions of dollars
but
or
if we
something?
compare, you are an Isle of Man motorcycle racer.
Steroids are equivalent to this racer. It's like you're taking a risk, but it's so exciting, and so you want to do it. But like, what about the death?
Yeah, but even when Greg took steroids, when did he start doing it? Like in his like mid 30s or something like that? Like I'm like what, 35 and I still haven't like messed around with it. I mean, but like if you're a kid, still like you're not asking like your mom or dad at 35 like, "Hey, can I do steroids?" It's like, "No, you're an adult. You do whatever you want."
I think while you're in it, you don't regret it. But when you get older, because you're in it, you're dieting for a show. So while you're on test, you can't envision not being on it. So it takes time away from it to really contemplate what you're doing.
But here's the problem: is that you can't imagine your life as a teacher again.
I could, because I lived that life, and I was happy when I was a school teacher. You don't believe me? I'm not. Even though I drive like fancy car and stuff, I never needed that. I was never like a monetary kind of guy. Like I didn't need this stuff.
Okay.
I didn't need.
Trying to figure out whether or not he's telling the truth. I don't know how to like suss that out. I would probably like I don't need it, but I'm still gonna make videos and try to pop off anyway. Again, this kind of seems like just hindsight type of stuff.
The house, the car, whatever.
Greg likes to party,
Sure.
and he would not go back to school teacher life.
I don't know. It's summers off. I work way more now than when I was a school teacher.
Okay, so now he buckled on his own point. Okay, so maybe he is kind of telling a little bit of a fib.
Yeah, but now you're enjoying all that money.
Oh, I can do way more. But I don't think you
Yeah.
need to be like, say, rich to be happy. I don't think you need that.
You don't need to be rich to be happy. This is probably a matter of degrees. But I mean, I don't know no school teacher making like 100K and then just chilling. Every school teacher I know, like they're making like shit, like 50, 60, 70-ish, something like that, K. But like, I don't know. I still don't really buy it. Like, let me hear that again.
I don't know. It's summers off. I work way more now than when I was a school teacher.
Okay, also, working. Yes, he is working, but you do have to take into consideration, like stress levels of each job. I mean, we could like micro it down or whatever. Like, yeah, like you're still working, like you're doing more hours, but like anytime I hear this argument, it's like we refuse to look at how stressed each person is. We refuse to look at like the mindset each person, like mind state that they're in.
Yeah, but now you're enjoying all that money.
Oh, I can do way more. But I don't think you need to be like, say, rich to be happy.
To be happy. I mean, I think it's pretty understandable to be like, oh, as long as I'm making like 100K and I can pay all my bills and get whatever food I want and not like go maybe go on like a couple vacations and not live like a crazy life. I think most people would be happy with that. I can't argue that point. I mean, I'd be happy with that. I mean, I'd be making like double. That'd be double for me. But I can't also excuse the fact that anytime I hear somebody with an abundance of anything, they always say that thing that they have an abundance of, it doesn't matter. I have an abundance of money. Money doesn't make you happy. I have all this like health and fitness. Health and fitness doesn't make you happy. I have an abundance of this and that. This doesn't make me happy. I mean, like, so then why do I always hear these arguments of like someone that has a lot of the thing and they're in a what do you call it? They're in a state of what's the word? Like they I forgot what it's called. They're in a state of like just wellness, but like no, this doesn't matter. Like I always hear it's like, oh, friends and family and sharing it with everybody makes me happy. You should focus on that. That's what I always hear all the time. I mean, that sounds like something somebody that has like a lot of money would say.
Happy. I don't think you need that.
There's recent studies that so before it was like 70,000 a year.
Yeah.
Everyone's happiness
I think
is the
up
same.
to 1 million or so. The newest research.
Up to 1 million? Oh my god. Like up to 1 million is the new what? Bro. This is bro, I would be ecstatic making like plus 20 or 30K. Now he's talking about there's like a new study that says, oh, you can make up to 1 million and still have exponential happiness. What am I like? What? The fact that you can make $1 million a year and still not be happy is baffling to me. These people that say this have no grip on reality. This is insane to me. They, potentially, probably out of touch.
Research says you peak around 1 million or so.
Now,
like I don't
yeah.
think I'd be more happy making 100 million than now. Like I
Well,
don't-
yeah, because you can do like just most things in life. Like happiness is like this type of graph. No, not calculator. It's like as money goes up. What is this? What is this? As money goes up, happiness goes up into a point. So then it's like, oh, I'm making more money, and then 60, 70, 80K, 90K, and then 100K, and then it like starts to peter off, and then like it's just diminishing returns at that point. Oh, I'm making like a $1 million, 1.2, 1.3, maybe $2 million, and then it's that type of graph. Now, what seems to be to me is like we're starting to argue over the actual numbers here on like this axis, because before it was about like 70K. Now we're saying like and then I heard 100K, and now we're saying the new is like 1 million. What? I mean, shit, dude. I mean, if that's the case, I am just so thankful. I am so ignorant to the rest of the world because Jesus Christ.
I don't think it'd be any different. Billion. I don't think adding zeros would
Yeah,
make
but
any
you're talking like
difference.
you're talking.
If you, well, yeah, you're right. I think everybody would say that. Like, I make $1 million a year, and then if I make 2 or 3 million, it's like I made me that much happier. Okay, all that like difference happens around like the 40, 50, 60, 70K ranges.
Talking as if like everyone makes $1 million.
No, of course not. There
Yeah.
probably averages like say 50,000 or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're
you
more
would not.
happy
You would
as
not
you go
trade.
higher.
You would not trade your life to making $50,000.
To live 10 years longer, yes, because
No, stop the cap.
$50,000.
man,
Oh, come on, you just recoiled like, oh.
Like once
You're
you're
not.
older,
You're not gonna experience all this. You're not gonna experience your
I don't need
vacations.
to.
You're not gonna experience.
You don't need to because you already did. You already got the feeling. Again, we're doing this like in hindsight thing.
I don't even buy first class tickets now, even though I mean I can.
So I will also understand that Greg probably lives frugally as a rich person. He probably lives pretty frugally still. If he were to go out and talk to like other people on his level, and then everyone's talking around like what they're doing, like, oh, I just did this, I spent this much money doing that, like Greg would probably be like, yeah, I didn't do any of that, I don't need to, I'm good. So I will also extend that as well.
Afford it. I just think it's a waste of money.
Really?
Yes, I don't care. It's like it doesn't mean anything to me.
So if you're
I
taking
actually
a
believe
12-hour
that.
flight, you're flying economy.
Sure, normal.
I'd have to see those tickets.
Why would I lie about the tickets I bought? If anything,
I mean, because why would I lie about the tickets? Because if you were to reveal that you have all nothing but first class tickets, normal people don't really buy first class tickets, and so then you just come out like as a liar. That's why.
I'm trying to brag. I'm a baller. I ride a private jet.
No,
You
I
know
think
what
because
mean?
I think you're now it's like it's cool to be like super humble and like, oh, I don't spend
think
any
I'm
money.
super humble. I say exactly what I have. People know the cars I drive. They know what it is.
Exactly. You drive a McLaren.
I literally would get an Uber.
They're not coinciding next to each
I
other.
usually get an Uber so that I can work on my phone rather than driving because I feel like I'm wasting the 30 minutes of driving where I could be working on my phone. Literally. So I get downtown, I get an Uber.
Okay, well, maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, but also like whenever you start buying like these exotic cars, depending on the neighborhood where you go, you kind of like that's like to me, buying exotic cars is like pointless. I mean, mostly because number one, I can't. I'm a brokey in the wage cage. And at that point, it's like you are just sitting on like I don't know how much that car was. Like how much? What was that? A McLaren? I don't even know how to spell it. I'm so poor. McLaren cost a few $100,000 to several million. Okay, so let's just say it's over 300K. Like if you just drive around in a McLaren, you're proclaiming to the world that you are in the top like echelon of like money making people. This is why a lot of like billionaires have like regular people cars, because they don't want everyone to know that you just attract a lot of unwanted attention whenever you go around in that type of car. Or maybe it's you do like the attention, and that's why you drive a McLaren. It's like a status symbol. It's not like you spent $300,000 and the value of that car is like that car is just that much more better than a regular car you use to get from point A to point B.
You're an exception. He's the first millionaire that I know ever who flies economy.
There you have it.
Yeah, that's
So
just.
I mean, there's probably other millionaires that do that in order to like blend in.
My mindset is like, I don't need the money. I could retire today and never work again and have more than enough to be happy.
Oh, yeah.
I work because it's
Yeah, but you
fun
wouldn't.
for
But you
me.
wouldn't have that without.
But
using
when I was a
steroids.
school teacher, not traveling, not going on vacation, I still was happy. I was always like a happy person.
I think this is a matter of perspective. Like, I'm happy now versus I'm happy now being like making school teacher money versus I'm happy now, but I got like, I don't know how much money Greg has. Like, I don't know, like 100 million or something like that. 50 million, 100 million. I don't know. I'm low balling, I'm high balling, whatever. Like, are we gonna like, the only thing I could do is like really like break down like relative happiness versus like absolute happiness. I don't freaking know.
I think everyone should experience living 10 years longer than last time.
More
Well,
testosterone than last time.
I don't think you're old enough. Like you're 39, is it?
39, yeah.
30. Okay, 39 and 49. I thought exactly like you at 39. But now I'm 49, so you are not me yet. I can travel back and be Dura and competing, but you can't go into the future and be like, wait, I want to live long.
There
I
are
have more
okay, fine. There
experience.
are exceptions, and there are reasons why you should and should not do it. One of the reasons I think you shouldn't do it is if your body simply rejects it. So I don't think.
Oh yeah.
So I think there's a genetic factor where your body accepts testosterone and steroid use. Like some people,
blood work and it shows like, holy shit, your HDL's in the toilet. You're just like, you're unhealthy on even.
and then
like,
you get
this low
get all
dose.
kinds of acne,
Gyno and the shit.
acne and gyno, and you
Yeah.
turn red from high blood pressure, and all kinds of shit happens. If you're one of these people who converts a lot to estrogen,
Yeah.
if you're one of these people, your body's telling you steroids are not for me. They're not for you. Hard luck. Too bad. That's life.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
But there are some
Yeah.
people. I don't have, knock on wood. I don't have blood pressure. I don't have any of these issues.
Mm-hmm.
My skin's fine. And there are a lot of other people, like most pro bodybuilders, including you, probably have a good time, or your body reacts well to steroid use.
Yeah, like what do they call it? Like a hyper responder. Your body just responds well to like all the steroids without a lot of the negative side effects. And if you discover you are like a really good responder, you got good genetics and yada yada, then that's more or less saying like life's way of saying, hey, you can do all this stuff and potentially like be successful, even more successful than last time. You don't have to work a 9-to-5 job. You can take a chance, take some steroids, try to be like the big bodybuilder type of person, do the influencer thing.
And go haywire.
I was good genetically, that my blood work wasn't horrible. Unless
Exactly.
I was on like really high doses. Like
Exactly.
10.
So
Yeah.
if you fall under that category, that's a pro why you should use. And if your body doesn't react well to it, then you probably shouldn't use. Now, another reason you should use is that I think that, let's say if I wasn't using testosterone, okay, I have a sweet tooth. And
Oh, I do. You've
okay.
seen my cookbook.
Yeah.
Look at the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still eat somewhat healthy.
Healthy but low
No,
sugar
I like-
stuff.
like, I like
it's the
Mc-
sweeteners.
I like
Oh, dang.
McDonald's,
Sure, I love that
fries.
stuff. I just don't eat it anymore.
You don't eat it.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I don't eat it is because I know I'm taking testosterone. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm taking testosterone, so I have to make up for it in other aspects
This is
of my
smart.
life.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
do
yeah.
my cardio every single day.
Correct.
I eat well. I only have one cheat meal a week. Sometimes I have a little snacks. But let's say if I wasn't on testosterone, I wouldn't have that subconscious thought of, oh, I'm doing something bad that I have to make up for it. That I would probably let myself go. I'd probably eat a lot more junk food. I probably
Would you though? I mean, again, it's like he's doing like this hindsight thing of like, I would probably do this, I would probably do that. But again, the same thing he's doing to Greg, like he can apply this to himself, because there's no way to know of like if you didn't do all the PEDs that you would still be healthy. Like there's no way to know like what you would have done. Like to know like to try to choose like a different path in life.
wouldn't do my cardio because I'm like, oh, I'm going to the gym. That's fine enough.
Right.
And I could actually probably be unhealthier.
Now that's a great point. Now, see, if you're doing steroids and it's replacing other bad shit like
Exactly.
drinking alcohol, that's a class
I don't
1
drink, don't
carcinogenic.
smoke, I don't do any of that
So
stuff.
anyone that's criticizing like me and you using steroids, if they drink alcohol or they smoke cigarettes, like who the heck are you to criticize us? when you're
Exactly.
doing something
I agree.
way worse.
Exactly.
Like, as much as I'm against
What was this type of like fallacy? Was this moving the goalpost or something? Like this vice isn't as bad as other vices, therefore I'm okay to do this type of vice. I don't know. At this point, I'm just like,
using steroids for people, it's very low on the list of drugs. Like if you said, what's better, sniffing creatine or doing steroids? I'm like, do the steroids. Sniffing creatine is horrible. So there's all these horrible things, like drinking alcohol is way
Yeah.
worse. More accidents, more deaths.
yeah.
This is the debate.
We're trying to like make a tier list of vices, and it's like trying to shove steroids on the bottom versus like actual like real like meth, coke, all this other shit, acid, whatever.
On the average person. I'm saying the average person should go on testosterone. Because when you take the average person, have you seen what they look like?
Not good.
one in
Obese.
three are gonna be actually 1 in 2 in like a few years are gonna be diabetic.
And
1
half
in
are
2.
obese as is.
Oh, shit.
Half are obese. They're all unhealthy. They're all lazy. They don't do shit. I think when you weigh, like, would you rather would you be on testosterone?
Take the least vice, take the F tier vice of steroids a little bit, go on the dad cycle, and do this vice and get a little bit healthier to extend your life. Because if you continue on your current path of being unhealthy and working a shitty job, being in a stressful like situation, then it's better. Okay, I get it. I mean, if I had to, I mean, shit, I'd probably agree with what was his name, Dura? I mean, for like the average person, I'd probably agree with Dura, if anything.
Live a healthy lifestyle, eat clean, do your cardio every day, not be on testosterone, probably drink every weekend, fat, eat all kinds of junk food, and don't do exercise whatsoever, which is healthier.
Yeah.
I mean,
You would be a normal guy.
overall, I think this is a good like talk of like back and forth trying to. This was a deeper than normal talk, and I kind of liked it. Should like the average person jump on some sort of like dad cycle? Probably. I mean, because then we could talk about the concept of if you could have a higher quality of life, but you reduced your life, how many people would it be, like 50-50? Like would do that versus like not doing it? I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. It's a philosophical question. I mean, I'm just some like natty dude just going to the gym and like just getting by really. But what do I know? Overall, cool video, and it's very nice that Greg tried to be like as transparent as he could. I would like to think that he was being truthful, but there's always, you know, shadow of a doubt that he could have been disingenuous in order to what do you call it? Maintain his line of logic. But I don't know. Overall, cool video. Kind of leaned into the the philosophical side, which is nice. But yeah, good stuff. Keep it up, man. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.